us up on the Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to, pardon me, This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, and both things interesting and things that you might not realize that, you might want to know, random stuff. Starting with, what do we got here for November 8th? Let's see here, right here.
392, Roman Emperor Theodorus declares Christianity the state religion.
Ah, all right. Yeah, this is when Christianity first, around the year 300, really started initially kicking off and such. We have off a main source article here, 1278, Tran Than Tong, the second emperor of the Tran dynasty, decided to pass the throne to his crown prince, Tran Kam, and took up the post of retired emperor. Ooh, swanky. I didn't even realize you can just retire as an emperor and just obviously have the luxuries of being an emperor, but none of the burden of running the empire. So you look like you're about to pass out. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. What else do we got? Ooh.
1519, first meeting of Aztec Emperor Montezuma II and Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez in Tenochtitlan, Mexico.
Yeah, Tenochtitlan, there's various pronunciations to it. And the ruins of Tenochtitlan are actually now in Mexico City. They occupy the same footprint, very much like how Baghdad in Iraq is the same area as Babylon, as in the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So, but yeah, Moctezuma greeted Cortez with a great celebration. And they talked and everything, and anyone who knows anything about that, let's see here. We had another off a main source here, 1291. The Republic of Venice enacted a law confining most of Venice's glassmaking industry to the island of Murano. All right. But let's see here. 1520. Is it here? Ah, here it is. All right. I actually have a little bit of a bigger thing here from other sources. Article. 1520. The Stockholm bloodbath began when a successful invasion of Sweden by Danish forces resulted in the execution of approximately 100 people, mostly noblemen. So, for the most part, it wasn't the average person getting attacked there, so that's good. 1576. What do we got here?
80-year war, pacification of Gent, 17 Dutch provinces signed anti-Spanish covenant.
Yeah. In which the States General of the Netherlands met and united to oppose Spanish occupation. So, yeah.
So 1602, Bodleian Library of Oxford University, founded by Thomas Bodley, formally opens.
All right, to the public, and actually, I forgot to add this part. Betty Lied to Boston, Oxford, founded. Oops. Pardon me. Hold on a second. Thank you. Forgot to do the intermediary thing here. All right, let's see. 1600. We have a couple actually off of main sources here. 1605. Robert Catesby, ringleader of the gunpowder plotters, was killed, executed, assassinated, murdered, whatever word you want to use, unalived, removed from this earth, essentially. And remember the 5th of November.
Yep.
I'm just sneezing all over the place today, aren't I? So, 1614, Japanese daimyo Don Justo Takayama was exiled to the Philippines by Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu for being Christian. Whoa. So they'll turn on their own people if they so much as think about Western stuff. That's that's something there. What do we got here?
Battle of White Mountain, Prague, first major victory of the Catholic Habsburg over the Protestant alliance in the 30 Years' War.
Yeah, this was a decisive victory for the Catholics in only 2 hours. That's a quick battle there. We got another off of main article here. 1644, the Suji Emperor, the third emperor of the Qing dynasty, was enthroned in Beijing after the collapse of the Ming dynasty as the first king emperor to rule over China. All right. Yeah. And sorry, we keep going back and forth. It's just whatever source has things, you know. So, but here's something for you. I'm trying to. Here we go. We're finally. I think we have a break in that. So now you get to have 3 uninterrupted. I hope.
1701, William Penn presents the Charter of Privileges, guaranteeing religious freedom for the colony of Pennsylvania.
All right. Speaking of Pennsylvania.
1731, Benjamin Franklin opens his first library in Northern American colonies, the Library Company of Philadelphia.
All right.
1734, Vincent La Chapelle, master cook to various nobility and royalty, forms a Freemasons lodge in the Netherlands.
You know, like when people think of, like, you know, the elitists, the wealthy, the nobles, you know, whatever era you want to look at, whatever, you know, label you want to use for them, like, think about their doctors, think about their cooks, think about their cleaners, you know, think about their janitorial staff. Like, they get the best of the best of the best, you know, the best money can buy, and, you know, the most trustworthy and all that stuff. And just because the servants are not themselves the wealthy, they're still in the inner circle, you know. And we have an example right here of a chef who worked his way up, you know, master cook, and now he's in the Freemasons. You know, like, started from the bottom, now we're here. So, keep fighting out there, people. You know, never give up, never surrender. To quote Galaxy Quest. That's the name of the movie. Have you seen that yet, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. 1789 here, bourbon whiskey was first distilled from corn by Elijah Craig in Bourbon County, Virginia, modern-day Kentucky. And Elijah Craig, yeah, it is a brand, actually. Like, when I first looked up this article, and this is actually, you can see it's right here, actually, right there, Elijah Craig, in the thumbnail for today's episode. It says 1789. So they are the very first bourbon whiskey. So I gotta give them a try. I don't think I've ever had that before. What else do we got here? 1798, Irish revolutionary Wolfe Tone was sentenced to death by hanging for his part in the Irish Rebellion of 1798. Tone requested to be shot instead so as to die a soldier's death. So, talk about a death tone right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do we have in 1833?
1833, train derails at Hightstown, New Jersey, killing 2 people. Also on board are Cornelius Vanderbilt and former President John Quincy Adams.
Ooh.
Vanderbilt.
So, close but no cigar. We almost lost 2 elitists that day. Here we go.
1842, King of Belgium, Leopold I proclaims child labor laws for 1889.
Wow, that's a bit of a ways. That's 47 years. Like, Leopold I is probably going to be dead before then. You know, I don't know how old he was at that time, but can you imagine somebody proclaiming, like, hey, we're going to have laws, you know, about child labor in 47 years. How about now? Like, yeah. Like, let's not, like, wait almost half a freaking century. Like, you know, maybe I'm crazy. Oh. But let's see here. 1861. Here it is.
1861, Battle of Mount Ivy, Kentucky. Commander General William Bull Nelson breaks up Confederate recruiting camp.
So that's interesting. So a Union general went down into, and I'm not sure if the Civil War had started or if it had gotten to this point, but essentially a commanding officer, a general of the opposing army, came in to a recruiting center and dismantled it. I can't imagine that. Why wasn't he killed? You know, like it's like this is what we're signing up for, people. You know, like we got another 61 here for you.
1861 USS John Jacinto, command by Charles Wilkes, captures 2 Confederate diplomats from the British mail steamer Trent, almost causing a war in the U.S. and the UK.
Oh wow! Like I tell you what though, like the UK, they were like supplying the Confederacy, the belligerents in that, because they were trying to help them to destabilize the entire continent in a way to come back and retake the 13 colonies again. It was all political trickery and all that stuff, and that's why we had that whole blockade around the waters and everything to prevent that from going on. So thankfully, things didn't go that way. But can you imagine, like after the Civil War, like if the South had won, then the Brits would come invading like immediately? That's kind of weird. I wonder if any alternate history, like, video has done something like that. If the South won and then the British invaded again, then what? Like, yikes.
There is that alternate history channel.
Yeah.
That does those videos.
Yeah. But usually when you think of alternate history, you just go one level deep. You don't think of the subsequent, other consequences or actual plans of real world that we're going, I don't know. I'm no alternate history guy. So, 1864, Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, was elected to his second term as U.S. president. And unfortunately, we didn't do a show yesterday, but it was the anniversary of Lincoln getting elected president, and I think it was that same year in which Jefferson Davis. Like, actually, I want to point this out here really quick. So that was hold on a second. Events, 1860 something. Yeah, here we go. That's Zachary Taylor. Actually, hold on a second. So Abraham Lincoln, his first election. Where is his articles? Okay, here we go. Well, whatever. Let's just get back to this thing. Like, I'm not going to hunt for that. 1883, English freighter Nicero was stranded at Etege, and the crew was taken hostage. That's not good.
Boy.
Yeah. 1884, German government recognized King Leopold II's Congo Free State. And, we've seen a couple things about that. We've spoken a little bit about that. And it was not good. What Leopold was doing, King of Belgium. So with that, it was all about utilizing
rubber, right?
Slave labor for the rubber trees and all that stuff, something like that. So
he put someone else in charge and
washed his hands from any wrongdoing. So. 1889, Montana was admitted as the 41st state of the Union. All right. So happy birthday, Montana. 1892, Grover Cleveland, a Democrat, was elected 24th U.S. president. And 1892 as well, off of main source, the New Orleans general strike began, uniting black and white U.S. trade unionists in a successful 4-day general strike action for the first time. Yes! Yes! Unite! Fight the oppressors, not each other! So, come on. You got a little Alex Jonesy right there. But what do we got here in 1895?
1895, German psychist.
Physicist.
Oh my god.
So, don't worry. It's just a
German
word.
physicist William, my brain's retarded today.
So's mine. Don't worry about it.
Roentgen produces and detects electromagnetic radiation in a wavelength range today known as X-rays or Roentgen rays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with and I heard it. I heard this watching one of the clips of Chernobyl. You know the little mini series they had about the nuclear reactor blowing up and all that stuff. There's one of the wavelengths of radiation. I mean, X-rays are radiation, all that stuff, but they are measuring Roentgen units from the exposed corpse. They mentioned his name, so
Okay.
yeah. Like kind of like how we have watts and all that stuff. Like my vape is at
Yeah.
55 watts. That's actually named after someone named Watt. His last name was
Yeah.
Watt.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's another unit of measurement right there. What do we got here in 1900?
British naval officer Navy takes part in a successful relief of the Naval Brigade at Trenton during the Boxer Rebellion and is promoted to captain.
All right. In 1901, where is it? Actually, I have a more detailed article here.
Okay.
In what would become known as the Gospel Riots, bloody clashes took place in Athens following the transition of the translation of the Gospels into Demotic Greek. Not demonic, but demotic. It's a different different thing. So they didn't. I guess they didn't like the Gospels being translated or something. So there's a whole thing about that. But hey, you get to talk about Teddy here.
1904, American President Theodore Roosevelt defeats Alton B. Barker, Democrat.
All right. 1904, inventor and manufacturer Harvey Hubble received the first U.S. patent for a separable electric attachment plug. What is that? Like, let's see here. Let's see if I can recognize this. I kind of like
That's
just an outlet
does.
plug.
Yep, that's the thing.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're only They're only like 120 years old. Huh. I guess everything was just hardwired together back in the day. 1907, in a landmark decision for Australia, the Court of Conciliation and Arbitration ruled that the sunshine harvester work must pay fair and reasonable wages. I agree. Pay fair and reasonable wage. Pay a living wage. You charge a living wage, so might as well pay it. 1910, first Washington state election in which women could vote. All right. Female suffrage. Is that a Ninja Turtle on your head?
Yes.
Nice. I don't remember who the blue one is.
Donatello.
Donatello. I thought it was Donatello. Red is Raphael, right?
Yes.
So that has to mean that orange is Michelangelo?
Yes.
And we already covered Donatello, right? Or is that the purple one? Okay. Okay. I'm learning. But what else do we got here in 1910?
1910, for the first time since 1894, the U.S. elects a Democratic Congress, including the first socialist ever to sit in Congress, Victor L. Berger of Milwaukee. Okay. All right. Another 1910, William H. Frost receives the first U.S. patent for an electrical insect destroyer. That sounds badass. All right, 1915, Austrian-Hungarian submarine torpedoes and sinks the Italian liner Ancona without warning, killing over 200 people. 1917, Telephone Co. runs its first advertisement for Army operators, receives 7,000 applicants. How I feel about that. 1920, Rupert Bear by illustrator made Tortel first appears in the Daily Express newspaper in the UK. Oh boy, here we go.
Thank you so much.
1923.
Thank you so much for picking up for me. I appreciate that. I just got a phone call from the loon. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, let's just let's keep this going until noon, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Rat King. How you doing?
I'm just waking up, getting around. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Yeah. Let's see here. 1919, off of main source here, the Eichfield massacre occurred, in which members of the Revolutionary Insurgent Army of Ukraine murdered 136 Mennonite colonists at Jeskiowo, initiating a series of massacres that resulted in the deaths of 827 Ukrainian Mennonites. Woo! Some religious, things, killings and all that stuff, madness happening there. But yeah, no, I just want to say again, Sir King, King's Refuge, man, you did a great job just now. Like that was actually really impressive. I've never like proxy hosted a show while on the phone simultaneously. That was a new one for me. But let's see here. 1920, Rupert Bear by illustrator Mary Tortel first appeared in the Daily Express newspaper in the UK. All right, Rupert Bear. Let's see here. What he looks like today. Rupert Bear. That sounds familiar. Maybe like, is that where? Oh, I recognize him. Kinda. I wonder if that's where Stewie Griffin is, gets his name for his bear, Rupert.
Maybe.
But this is weird. He goes from white to brown. Like he's a color changing bear. It's very odd.
Mm-hmm.
So here he's whiter than Elon Musk. Holy crap. Let's see here. 1923. This is a big one here. The Beer Hall Putsch occurred, in which in Munich, Adolf Hitler led the Nazis in an unsuccessful attempt to overthrow the German government. And it did not go well, thankfully. But then, that's when he got thrown into prison. And what did he do in prison?
Learn? I don't know.
He wrote Mein Kampf. Yeah. Now we have 2 articles 1 century ago, if you want to take these.
1924, Austria. Chancellor Ignatius Speichel resigns after assassination attempt.
Huh. All right.
1924, Fortune Theatre opens in London.
All right. I would otherwise not care about those articles, but they were 100 years ago on this date, so that's pretty interesting in and of itself.
It is pretty interesting, especially if it's still. I imagine it's still open. If we're mentioning it.
I'm sorry?
I said, especially if it's still open, I imagine it is if we're mentioning it.
You know what? I gotta check this out. Fortune Theatre in London, if it's still around. Fortune Theatre. Let's see here. It might be the same one. Like, there is a Fortune Theatre in London. Like, Russell Street. It might be, or I don't know.
Look at the pictures. Look at the pictures. You'll be able to tell by the design of the building.
Oh, true. Well,
yeah.
I think it is, because that's about 1920s architecture,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say it is, but I still,
I would say,
if anybody wants to hunt down the actual thing, let us know in the comments section, yay or nay. That'd be great. Now we got some weird things. Speaking of theaters, what do we have here?
George Gershon and Ira Gershon and P.G. Wodehouse musical OK opens as the Imperial Theater, New York, runs for 256 performances.
Okay. That's a weird name for a play. Oh. 1932.
Who knows?
I'm sorry.
It was back in the day, so
Yeah.
all our shit's weird to them.
Yeah, true. 1932, amidst the Great Depression, Democrat candidate Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected the 32nd President of the United States of America, defeating Republican incumbent Herbert Hoover. And nobody liked him, because he was a president during most of the Great Depression. If he wasn't the one at the very beginning, I think he came in just after it started. It had already been going. If he had served 2 full consecutive terms, that's 8 years, and that the Great Depression started. No, he did start it. It started at the end of the Roaring 20s, 1929. So yeah, he would have been the president at the start of it. So, but like all the impoverished people and everything, like how we call the homeless camps and all that stuff today. Back then they called them Hoovervilles. It's like, because he caused it. So, anyway, 1933, during the Great Depression, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt unveiled his New Deal, a civil works administration organized and designed to create jobs for more than 4 million unemployed. So the government creates a depression, killing privatized jobs, and they fix it by making federal jobs. That kind of sounds like communism to me. And FDR is a Democrat. And what are those people? They're usually commies, especially today. So, 1935, Mutiny on the Bounty, directed by Frank Lloyd and starring Charles Lofton and Clark Gable, premiered in New York, later to receive the Best Production and Picture in 1936. 1937, this is really, really nasty, so this is going to be my article here. The Nazi exhibition Der ewige Jude, the Eternal Jew, opened in Munich, and that cannot be good. Like, it has got to be slanderous and full of garbage propaganda. I mean, that article just sickens me to my stomach. What the Nazis did to the Jews, just ugh. What do we got here?
1939, failed assassination attempt on Adolf Hitler at Bergen-Belsen beer hall in Munich, Germany. Time bomb planted by workman George Elser explodes 13 minutes after Hitler's departure, killing 8 people.
Close. Very close. You know what? Now that I think about it, the only similarities between Hitler and Orange Man is the amount of times people have tried to take them both out. Because he also survived that desk bombing, remember? And then, trying to make an ill-fated political joke here. Off of main source here, 1939 as well, the Venlo incident occurred in which 2 British agents of SIS were captured by the Germans. That's not good. What do we got here in 1940?
1940, RAF bombs Munich's Adolf Hitler promises an attack on the capital of Nazi movement would not go unpunished.
Well, good luck trying to punish us for that, or whatever. For sake of time, I'm going to look ahead and just read, pre-read some things. So, yeah, if you want to take this. So we're going to be, skipping a little bit here. This one's hilarious, though.
1942, Adolf Hitler proclaims fall of Stalingrad from Munich hero.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, and moving on up to 1949. I'm one of these people.
1949, All the King's Men, based on Robert Penfold published novel directed by Robert Lawson and starring Roderick Crawford, premieres in New York. Best Picture 1950.
I'm a King's man. Huh.
Praise him.
Yes. Now, 1950 here. During the Korean War, the United States Air Force Lieutenant Russell J. Brown, while piloting an F-80 Shooting Star, shot down 2 North Korean MiG-15s in the first jet-to-jet aircraft dogfight in recorded history. This is the first time a jet has fought a jet on this date in 1950, November 8th. That's really interesting. Before that, they were prop planes. And I wonder, like, what was the first propeller versus jet fighter? You know, was the propeller one attacking the jet, or was the jet attacking the propeller? Like, I wonder what the outcome was. 1957, Operation Grapple X, Round C1, the United Kingdom conducted its first successful hydrogen bomb test over Kiritamachi in the Pacific. And at that same time, Great Britain performed an atmospheric nuclear test at Christmas Island. I'm not sure if these are 2 different things. The first one I got from another source. I don't know. Maybe they did multiple nuke tests in one day. I'm not sure. We've had some things like this before. But let's see here. 1959. You want to take this one?
Johnson, President Habib Gabriel's Nestor party wins every seat.
That sounds rigged. And here we go.
1960, John F. Kennedy is elected President of the United States, defeated Republican candidate Richard Nixon, who was the incumbent Vice President.
Yep. Richard Nixon himself would be elected president in 1968 and 72. But JFK here was the 35th president on this date in 1960. Now, 1962, this one raised an eyebrow here. Canada's government ordered the nickel changed back to the round shape. I'm just wondering, were they running around with, like, square nickels or, like, trapezoidal? Like, oh, okay. So it wasn't completely round? Wait, that's 1962. Huh. Oh, I see. Okay, so here we have... You can tell that they're slightly rounder.
Right.
So maybe this is, you know, they were just kind of slight angles. That's interesting.
Easier to make, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's see here. Moving on up. 1965, the U.S. soap opera Days of Our Lives premiered. That's one of the longest ever running TV shows ever, right? It was like 50 years or something like that. I think so. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to... 1966. Where is it? There you are. Back to you.
1966. Movie actor Ronald Reagan is elected governor of California. What?
Yeah. Reminds me of the Back to the Future. Oh, who's the president of 1985? Oh, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, the actor? Oh, who's the first lady? Meryl Streep? Like... 1966. This is pretty big.
1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs antitrust immunity to AFL-NFL merger.
Yep. So allowing the NFL to eat the AFL. Yep. Let's see here. Moving on up. Just trying to find something interesting here. 1980. Voyager 1 space probe discovered the 15th moon of Saturn. Nice. And I got to catch us up here on this side. 1984, NASA astronaut Ann Lee Fisher became the first quote-unquote mom to go into orbit aboard STS-51A. Right here. I don't know why they're quoting mom. Was she couldn't have been pregnant. So this must have been, or I guess she was, I don't know. This is going to require some digging. Like, is this before she conceived or before or after birth? Because there's no way they'd send a pregnant person through that. That would kill the baby in the womb, right? Like the rocket launch and all that stuff, all those G's, that can't be healthy. Oh. Anyway, let's see here. I'm trying to find something else here really quick. Let's have you read something from just, oh, here we go. We were talking about this the other day.
1994, voters in California elect entertainer Sonny Bono to U.S. Congress.
All right. So he won. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
he
you
stayed
know.
in Congress for quite a while.
Oh, he has?
No, he did.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
He died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of, like, my head's spinning right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this show for the day.
Okay.
Yeah, that shall be it for today. Sorry, guys, but, like, you know, as I kind of alluded to earlier, some real-life situations are happening. So, please check the underbar, the description below, for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion, and like we had to expedite today. So please check our sources, you know, for interesting things, including births and deaths and stuff. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day, or at least try to, at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows, you know, from history to news, movie reactions, reviews, gaming, videos and memes, Omni Kitchen, and everything else between on Talk Show. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
King's Refuge.
And we have Lost Rat King and the live studio audience. And, of course, you, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for watching. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.